Alright, so this is a video about fast forwarding or forward engineering your model. Alright, so we have the model here. It's been saved. Generally, you can do tools, uh, forward engineer, and you can just go through and accept the defaults. Provide the password if you need to. Then it'll give you the SQL, which you can look at. I'm going to copy this to a clipboard for a reason, but I'm going to do next. I have been getting these errors for every foreign key. The thing is, there's nothing wrong. So it's a problem with workbench, I think. So I am going to close it. Now, if you don't get that, you can go and it will just generate take the SQL and generate it and run it in the server. But I'm going to go to the server. If you can't get there like this, if the tab isn't open, you can click on home. So we're at the ERD. You can click on home, click here, provide your password, and it will open up the server. And it gives us a query window here, and I copied the query to clipboard, so I'm just going to paste it into this query window. This is if your forward engineer fails, and it works just fine this way too. And then I hit the lightning bolt, and the thing is, even though it failed in the forward engineering, it actually works just fine here. Notice that it's executing down below. And I believe it is done. Now you might have a view like this. So if you click on schemas, you'll see these. You may not have Sakila, but you should have system and world. I'm going to click the refresh, and notice now it has Vincent Vinyl, and it has all of the tables, right, that I just created. As I said, I do not know why the forward engineering wasn't working, but I tried it several times and scrapped a couple of videos because of it. But cutting and pasting this will work. Assuming that everything is correct. If there are actual problems, it will still have problems here. Alright, so I am going to enter some data just to show you how to do it. Now, if I write, I might zoom a little. Okay, so I'm going to zoom up. When I look at the album here, notice I have this. This is information. When I click it, it gives me information about the table. So when I do the wrench, it allows me to make changes to the table. So this, you can actually change things. And then I'm going to close that, close that. All right, this one allows me to add data. Now the data that we're going to want to add is from the Vincent's Vinyl. So let's go back to, actually let's just go home. Let's go down to the Vincent's Vinyl, and we want the PDF. And if we, this is way too big, but if we go here with sample data, I'm just going to enter the first bit. So we got Abbey Road, Beatles, Apple 1969. So I am going to, we can enter that. So I'm going to go back to Workbench. The ID we can ignore, but I'm going to do Abbey Road. You can stretch these out if you want to see it more. The studio is Apple. And the year is 1969. So we've entered the album. I am going to apply it. If you do not apply it, it won't save it. So I'm going to do apply. It shows me the insert statement that it would create to apply it. and then I apply it. Okay, and then we can finish. Notice it has a number now. That's what the auto number does. Now, every album has to be purchased, right, before you can enter it into inventory. But before you can enter it into purchase, you also have to do a couple of other things. So I am going to enter a person. And again, if I go back here, it will tell me which person. So it was purchased from George Stanley. All right. And Stanley, georgestanley@gmail.com. So again, I come back here. Stanley. George Stanley. I don't remember how it was. Not sure it matters a whole lot. It's gstanley@gmail.com. Don't remember the phone number. I actually don't care if you get these exactly right, as long as the gist is right. Did I put a phone number on there? I think if we go down, I don't have a phone number. Should have given you one. Just make one up. So I'm just going to say 206-555-1234. All right, and again, I want to apply this. If you don't apply, it doesn't save. So now we have a person, and I'm going to go to a purchase, store purchase. I'm going to pop this up, and we have a purchase ID, purchase date. Let's just do it for today. Well, actually, I had a date. I know this is a bit of a pain going back and forth. So it was April 5th, 2018. Okay, so a couple of things about this. 2018 04 05. It wants dates entered in that format. Person ID is 1 because it's the first person, right? And again, we have to apply and apply and finish. Okay, so we have a purchase date. Now we need the purchase detail. All right, so the purchase price I said was, help if I had more than a 2-minute memory, $4.97. So we can go to $4.97. Now, if any of your data types are wrong, it won't let you do this. This is the store purchase ID, and I redid these so that they're a little different than the first video. 1, and the album is 1. And then we apply. Okay, and finish. And now we can go to inventory. And I'm trying to show you what a pain it is to enter data. And I just want you to enter the data that we've got there. The next thing we will do will be, I'm just going to guesstimate that it's about 750. Condition was good. Although conditions, see, this is a problem. We don't have conditions yet. So I need to go to condition, and I'm going to just do the condition name. So I'm going to say, let's say mint, good, fair, poor. Okay, and then I'm going to apply these. And finish. Okay, so they have their numbers. Now I can go back to purchase detail. Purchase detail to inventory. And I can say the condition was 2 for good. And it's purchase ID 1. And then we can apply that. Okay, so that's mostly how you enter data. I'm going to show you one other way to enter data. So we'll enter another album. I'm not sure that I go through this process one more time. I'm going to open a new SQL window. I'm going to say use Vincent Vinyl, semicolon. I'm going to execute that statement. And down below it says good. All right. And then I am going to say insert into album. And I'm going to, let's look at what the second album was. Blonde on Blonde. Before. Okay. We never did enter the Beatles. We should do that. So let's go back here. Before we do the insert into the album, we have the album, but we have nothing in the artist. So let's do it this way. Let's do insert into artist. And all we have is the artist name to insert into. And then I'm going to say values. And I'm going to say Beatles, semicolon. And we will run just this statement. And down below it, you can see that it worked. Now, I'm going to do insert into artist has album. And we will insert, let's look at these. Artist, we might have just artist ID, or ID artist, but I reverted artist ID artist and comma album ID album. We do values. What is it not like about that? I think it's okay. And the values are going to be just 1, 1. Okay, album 1, artist 1. And I will insert that. And it says that it's good. And then if I look, so let's do artist real quick. We'll just look at that. We'll see that, oh, I have the Beatles twice. I guess I did insert them before. And then artist has album. Let's just do that. And it has the artist. The Beatles, since we have an extra one, let's go back to artist, which is up here too. couple of things. You can do this and then delete the row. There's also some SQL. The next thing we're going to do is SQL. So I'm going to wait a little bit on that because I want you to just basically get the database created and get the start adding the data from the sample data, because that's what we'll test with the SQL. Okay, so this is the end of this video. Whoa, it's because I'm zoomed.